Is it time yet? Flame demanded. His mother gave him an amused smile. Yes, Flame, it's time, she told him calmly. She walked towards her mate. Well, Rusty, I suppose we'd better take these four out to explore before they sneak off again. Rusty smiled, giving her an affectionate lick on the ear, which was a brighter orange like the rest of her. You have wisdom beyond your years, Garnet. He flicked his tail to Flame and the other cubs, gesturing for them to follow him out of the den nestled just behind the narrow bridge spanning the stream that divided their forest home. Flame scampered after him, leading his litter mates after their father, whose pelt matched his name. He was followed closely by his sister Scarlet. Her orange-reddish fur was duller than his fiery pelt, but she matched his energy drop for drop. Come on, slowpokes, she called back to their other siblings, who were following more slowly. Her twin brother Spark, who was identical to her except for the white star on his forehead that contrasted her red one, wrinkled his nose at her but didn't respond. They will follow at their own pace, Rusty assured them, brushing his tail across their backs. They don't need to be rushed. Flame scowled. But I want to go, he protested. You've kept us in the den forever. Yeah, Scarlet agreed. She shook off her father's tail and suddenly leaped into the air. Landing smoothly, she smirked back at the others. Bet you can't do that, Spark, she challenged. He sighed and quickened his pace to catch up with her. Maybe I can, maybe I can't, but I don't want to, he pointed out. Ember, who matched their mother in appearance besides her unique white paw, joined them as well. Not all of us like doing things as soon as we think of them, she added quietly. Sometimes it's better to stop and think first. Garnet, rejoining the group as well, barked quietly. All right, that's enough, she told them. We left the den to show you the world you'll be guarding, not to give you more reasons to bicker. If you can't get along, we'll go back right now. Your mother is right, Rusty said in his deep voice. The Creator put us in this world to protect it. It is a big responsibility, and you must show that you are ready to learn. Sorry, Father, the cubs whined in unison. Rusty shook out his fur. Come on, then. He turned and led the way onto the small bridge. It was narrow, with only enough space for one fox to go at a time. The smooth black wood shone in the sunlight streaming down. Below the bridge, water flowed happily, foaming slightly in areas where the hill dropped, creating small pools and waterfalls. This bridge was created years ago and then abandoned, Rusty explained. Its abandonment is why this world needed guardians, Garnet added. The humans were created to hold dominion over the earth. However, they chose to disobey that command many times, leaving our worlds alone, separated. Sometimes that was for the best, but other times these worlds still needed someone to watch over them. That's where the Guardians came in, Rusty continued. He led the group towards a small clump of bushes. The cubs separated to explore the undergrowth. Each of these worlds were different, with separate animals being best suited to watch over them. Some of these were woodlands, like ours, and were assigned pairs of creatures like with the Ark, such as owls, squirrels, deer, and, of course, foxes. Others are freezing snowlands, protected by polar bears and penguins. Still others are deserts, watched over by camels, meerkats, and snakes. Obviously, there are far too many to list now. It would take more than a lifetime to tell you about all of them. And it was a painter, a wonderful man, who gave the humans a window to see these worlds again. Flame growled furiously. Snakes are allowed to guard these worlds, he shouted, smacking a bush with his paw. Loose leaves slowly fluttered to the ground. Yeah, after they ruined the world and brought sin to everything, Scarlet barked. It wasn't all snakes that did this, Garnet corrected her cubs. It was the evil one. And he himself was not a snake, but a creature of darkness who took the form of the snake, bringing them shame forever. Rusty nodded. You mustn't forget that the humans chose to disobey the Creator. Even if the evil one tempted them, it was ultimately their decision. The Creator knew that the snakes he chose were worthy to be guardians of their world, which means we should trust his judgment, Ember said thoughtfully. Garnet licked her forehead in approval. Well spoken, she told her. Spark waved his tail. Father, Mother, I have a question. He paused, continuing on when they nodded. You've told us about the guardians of some of the worlds, and all of them are wild animals. What about those animals like dogs and cats who have lived with the humans? Do they guard any of these worlds? Before Rusty or Garnet could answer, something rustled loudly in the bushes beside them. Scarlet, impulsive as ever, charged to investigate, Flame on her heels. Behind them, Rusty gave a low growl. "Oh, no," he muttered. Just as Scarlet pushed her nose into the leaves, a small gray shape hurtled into her, breaking several branches with a loud crackle. Caught by surprise, Scarlet was bowled over, her attacker crouching on top of her triumphantly. Beside her, Flame went sprawling as well, having been knocked away by the force of the attack. Finally regaining her wits, Scarlet went limp. Her attacker relaxed, hissing in her ear, "Do you surrender?" She did not. Instead, she bunched her muscles and leapt to her paws. Her attacker lost their balance and fell off her back onto the soft forest floor. Scarlet turned to face her, ready to continue fighting. But instead, she found a small creature with light gray fur sitting calmly, licking one paw. This was definitely not a fox. It looked familiar, but she couldn't place it. Rusty sighed. "Molly, I've told you before not to sneak attack us like that." The creature, Molly, made a rumbling sound. "But it was so easy," she argued carelessly. "Your kids weren't paying attention, and the conversation made the timing perfect." "So it did," Garnet agreed. She turned to the cubs, nudging an annoyed Flame back to his paws. "Children, this is Molly. She is a cat." "Cat," Scarlet echoed, remembering her parents' descriptions now. Molly nodded, continuing the rumbling, purring. "To answer your question, Red Tomkit, the Creator did not need to give cats and dogs a specific world to guard, as we guard different parts of our world, especially the humans. They would be lost without us to watch over them." "It's Spark," he corrected the cat. "And if you don't have a world, how are you here?" Well, Spark, that's the best part. The Creator gave us the ability to come visit any of the worlds," she explained sedately. "He gave the same ability to dogs, too, but they don't usually care enough. They're usually more interested in protecting their people." Ember dipped her head to Molly. "Mother and Father are taking us to explore our world. Would you like to come with us?" Molly purred again. "So respectful!" she exclaimed. "Mother and Father! That is definitely not what I call my people." "What do you call them?" Flame asked seriously. "I'm not going to tell you that," Molly replied. "I don't want to be a bad influence on you four and not be allowed to come back. But what should I call you?" "I'm Ember," the oldest cub replied. "You've already met Spark and his twin Scarlet, and the one you bowled over as collateral is our literal little brother Flame." Molly nodded. "Well, Ember, Spark, Scarlet, Flame, it's very nice to meet you all. And to answer your earlier question, yes, I would love to come with you to explore your world." Rusty took the lead again. He showed the cubs their small forest paradise. Tall pine trees dotted the area, with other trees and bushes filling in the empty space. The clear, bubbling stream continued on farther than anyone could see, fish swimming in some of the pools. Berries filled the bushes, red and blue and black. After some time, the family and their visitor completed their first trip. "That's the first trip," Garnet told her disappointed cubs. "We will continue to explore as you grow older and stronger. I promise you will see everything eventually." "But now it is time to see what you've learned," Rusty announced. "How about a little competition? You four will pair up to see who can find the most food." The cubs murmured excitedly. "Scavenging only. None of you know how to swim yet, and I'd prefer it if you didn't try climbing any trees, either. Do you understand?" "Yes, Father," the cubs chorused. True to form, Scarlet and Flame teamed up and dashed off, while Ember and Spark went the opposite direction, more slowly. Molly went off on her own, heading straight for the river. "Do we think this is going to end up in a fight?" Garnet asked wryly. Rusty shrugged. "We'll see. Our firecrackers and our critical thinkers went in opposite directions, so we should end up with interesting results." Ember and Spark had gone as far as the bridge. "There's a bunch of fallen nuts near here," Spark told his sister. "How do you spot that?" she asked as they reached the spot. "Father didn't take us in this direction." I'm always looking out for stuff, he replied, and it's a lot easier to remember what I've noticed when there's more variety. She dipped her head. Fair enough. The two gathered as many nuts as they could carry and started to head back to their parents. Molly joined them on the way, an enormous fish in her jaws. At their questioning looks, she shrugged. I'm not one of their kids, she pointed out, or at least that's probably what she was trying to say. Scarlet and Flame had gone straight towards the grouping of berry bushes their father had pointed out. I can't believe the Creator made so many different berries, Flame cheered. He stretched out his muzzle and ate a few of them, savoring the delicious juices flooding his mouth. The Creator is great, and greatly to be praised, Scarlet agreed. She turned even redder as she realized how different that had sounded from her usual quips. Where did that come from? Father and Mother have said that sometimes we can't help but praise the Creator, Flame reminded her. He is our inspiration. Scarlet smiled, understanding. Even if his inspiration makes us sound wiser than we really are. The two began to gather berries to bring back, but their mission was put on hold when Flame noticed a strange footprint. Scarlet, look at this, he called, having put down his load. She bounded over to join him, sticking her nose directly on top of the print. Inhaling deeply, she drew in his scent, then quickly recoiled in surprise. Wow, that is very sweet, she growled. What is it? Flame asked, moving to sniff it as well. Scarlet whipped her tail in front of his muzzle. Don't, she warned. It smells of an overabundance of crushed berries. We should tell Mother and Father about this place. The two cubs ran back to the clearing, where everyone else had already gathered. Molly was sharing her fish with Ember and Spark, while Rusty and Garnet were examining the nuts. They all looked up at the sound of thumping paws, startled. You didn't find anything? Spark called, sounding disappointed. Guess you should have taken your time and not just run off, Ember suggested snidely. The other cubs ignored the remark. Mother! Father! Excitement filled the cry. Rusty and Garnet were by them in an instant. What is it? Rusty asked carefully. It was amazing, Flame began. We were foraging for berries, and there was a strange footprint, and it smelled of berries, Scarlet finished. I'll never get the smell out of my nose. You have to see the berry bushes we found. Garnet licked their cheeks and nuzzled them. It's all right, my darlings. We'll come with you. She drew them closer, feeling them calm down from their excitement as they pressed against her. Show us, Rusty ordered after a few moments. His voice was firm. He followed the youngest cubs back to the clump of berry bushes. Berries littered the ground, some crushed, while others were still whole. Juice had mixed with the dirt, creating small patches of sweet-smelling mud. Leaves were shredded as well, everything most likely from the cubs' hasty departure. It was right over here, Father, Scarlet said, pointing with her tail, but clearly not wanting to go any closer. Rusty and Garnet padded over to investigate, both spotting the footprint. Rusty drew in a careful breath, pulling the scent of the footprint over his scent glands. It shocked him. This is definitely the scent of the overexcitement of our two youngest cubs, he whispered in Garnet's ear. What do we do, my love? She asked, amused. He shook his head. We will come back later. It is time to bring the cubs back to the den. Ember was in front of her litter mates, pacing curiously. What did you find? She asked. A feast for us to enjoy at a later time, Garnet said quietly. More loudly, she added, You did well today, children, though you could have been more careful about not making such a mess. Are we going to be in trouble? Ember whined, knowing she'd been the one to make a mess. Rusty licked his daughter's cheek. Everything is all right, Ember. We know you didn't mean to do this. Besides, the Creator is with us. He turned to Molly, who was washing herself, seemingly unconcerned. It is time for you to leave, he told her. Our cubs have been busy today, and they need to rest. Molly nodded cheerfully. I'd hoped I would finally see this day, when your cubs were old enough to play with. I'll spread the word to my sister. I thought you didn't get along with your sister. Molly shrugged. We get along as we aren't trapped with each other. She got to her paws and rubbed against each of the foxes in turn. Goodbye, guardians, she told them. I wish you well. She turned and padded off into the bushes, vanishing from sight. Later that night, as Rusty and Garnet curled around their cubs, watching them sleep peacefully, they smiled at each other before laying down their heads to sleep as well. It had been a very good day.